Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Oka, there lived a handsome man and his beautiful wife, Obiora and NKECHI. Obiora was an accountant in a small community bank, and NKECHI was also a trader in the market. Obiora loved his wife greatly. NKECHI and Obiora lived in a very beautiful and modest home. They had planned their life and worked towards giving birth to children and raising them in a godly way. But as the years went by, Obiora and NKECHI had looked forward to their bundle of joy, but it didn't seem coming. At some point, their hope in God started reducing. It felt like God had abandoned them. It felt like even their prayers were not being listened to. And over the years, Obiora and NKECHI just leaned on God, but with a weak faith. They told themselves, if we get to see the children too, if we don't get to see the children, we won't kill ourselves. But we will keep trying. Gradually, NKECHI met a friend named Amaka. Amaka kept on encouraging NKECHI never to leave the presence of God, that she should keep on putting her hope in God. But NKECHI told Amaka, do you know how long I have been waiting? For 5 solid years. And very soon it will be 6. Do you think I am not believing in God? Or do you think my own prayers and offerings are not being accepted? I have waited and waited, cried and prayed. Amaka told her, the time of God and the time of man is not the same. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep praying. You have to keep believing. And one day it's going to be your time. With this, NKECHI gradually leaned back to God, praying every night and believing that one day she was going to give birth to her own child. And as the years went by, with Obiora and NKECHI hoping that one day their bundle of joy will come, NKECHI fell so sick, terribly ill, and the moment she was rushed to the hospital, the doctor had confirmed that she was pregnant. NKECHI and Obiora were excited. They were glad. This was something they had looked forward to. This was something that they had prayed and hoped for. And NKECHI carried her baby to full term, nurturing her baby, always doing that which the doctor asked her to do, never missing her appointments for one day. And when it was time, they gave birth to their bundle of joy, and he was named Ebuka. To NKECHI, Ebuka was her bundle of joy. Ebuka came to her when she had even given up on herself, what more than giving up on God. Her mom, Mama Nneka, had come to visit them for Mugo. Mama Nneka took care of Ebuka, always protecting Ebuka. It even felt like Mama Nneka was even the person that gave birth to the baby. As whenever visitors had come to see the baby, even NKECHI had entered the room to carry the baby, Mama Nneka would tell her, no, the baby is sleeping. Can't you see I just finished feeding him? Allow him to rest. Go tell the visitors that the baby is sleeping. NKECHI will ask her mom, Mommy, this is my baby, oh, and the visitors are my friends. Why won't I allow the visitors to see my baby? Is it a taboo for a visitor to see your baby? And her mom will tell her, it's not a taboo, but the baby just finished eating. Tell the visitors that the baby is sleeping and they should return some other time. Or you can easily show them the baby's picture from your phone. NKECHI will tell her mom, Mommy, this is not how to do now. You know, I have to show them the baby. They had come from far to come see my own baby. It's somehow for me to go out and tell them that my baby is sleeping. And her mom will quickly tell her, I have visited numerous homes, and whenever they tell me the baby is sleeping, I don't feel offended because I know that the baby tends to sleep whenever the baby is tired. So please stop thinking and overthinking things. Moreover, it's not everybody that comes here that are glad that you gave birth. That is something you should know. Go tell the visitors that the baby is sleeping. NKECHI will quickly leave her mom's presence and go tell the visitors that the baby was sleeping. After they had eaten and taken their drinks, they would drop something for the baby and leave. As the days went by, NKECHI noticed that her mom only allowed few people to see the baby. Very selected people. Though she didn't even know much of them, but it felt like she was moving with her spirits. Only few people did her mother, Mama Nneka, permit to see the baby. Other people, she would gladly tell NKECHI to tell them that the baby was sleeping. NKECHI was shocked, but she quickly told herself, Napeg, let me not even think about it. The moment my mom leaves, I'm going to permit whosoever to see my baby. Baby Ebuka has given me joy. He had come to us when we had never even expected him. So why should I prevent the world from seeing him? I'm going to do whatever I want to do the moment my mom leaves my house. And after 2 months of Madam Nneka staying with her daughter Nkechi, she had called her daughter a night to when she was about to leave and told her daughter, I will be leaving you soon, but there is something important I would like you to know. Not everybody that come here to see your baby come here with a good intention. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. The moment I leave your house, guide your home. Guide your baby. It's not the moment someone enters and asks where is the baby, you will quickly give out your baby to him or her. Be very careful. Even the Bible said that not everybody that calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. For the Bible to make mention of that, you should know that not everybody moving on the road are even good. And not all of them are even human beings. Some of them are principalities and powers of darkness looking for who to devour. My daughter, you prayed and waited in the Lord for how many years? Do not be the sacrifice for another person's sin. Don't go and throw yourself to the hands of the devil. Guide your baby. Guide Chukwuebuka. Guide him jealously. Nkechi told her mom, okay mom, I have heard. I will guide him jealously. Thank you very much. And the next morning, Mama Nneka prayed for them and left. The moment she left, it felt like Nkechi had her freedom to do whatsoever she wanted, as her mom gave her so much limitations when it comes to her child, things she should do and things she shouldn't, telling her that these are the rules and regulations of Omugo. Nkechi did whatsoever she wanted. The moment someone comes to her house and asks, where is our baby? Oh, Nkechi will quickly go and bring out Ebuka and present to them, handing Ebuka to whosoever enters her home. Nkechi was happy. And the moment she showed them the baby, some of them will place money inside the baby's blanket. Some others will spray him money. Some others will present the gifts they have for him. And as the days went by, the day Ebuka turned 3 months, 2 women had come to visit Nkechi from the market. They were her neighbor in the market. After they had seen Ebuka, one of the lady gave Ebuka a small gift. The other placed money into Ebuka's blanket and they left. Nkechi thanked them greatly before they left and told them, God bless you. Thank you very much. They were excited. They told Nkechi, we know how you've prayed and waited for your son. We know how you've prayed and waited for him. We are just here to celebrate with you. Nkechi thanked them greatly and they left. When Obiora returned from work that day, Nkechi told Obiora how her neighbor from the market had come to visit her and how they had given baby Ebuka a huge sum of money, and the other also gave Ebuka a very nice present. Obiora was very excited and told Nkechi, I am glad. I'm glad that people actually come to visit our son. At least with the little money that we've gotten, we'll be able to buy things for him. We'll be able to save up for him, for his future too. Nkechi was really glad. Nkechi couldn't wait for 3 months to be over so she could carry baby Ebuka to the market the way most market women do, and they will celebrate him round. But the next morning, when Nkechi woke up and was preparing breakfast for her husband, she decided to go quickly check up on baby Ebuka. On getting to his room, she noticed that he was not moving. His eyes were wide open, but he was not moving. He was not making any sound. His eyes were just wide open, staring and looking at a particular position. Nkechi was really scared at first, and she carried her baby. But the moment she lifted Ebuka up, his black eyes went up. It was just his white eyes that were showing. At that point, Nkechi ran out and went to meet her husband and started shouting, my husband, see, oh, our baby is not moving. His eyes have gone up. At that point, Obiora knew that it was an emergency and he quickly rushed his wife and baby to the hospital. On getting to the hospital, the doctor had confirmed that baby Ebuka had a very high temperature and tried to stabilize him. After Ebuka was stabilized, they ran a series of tests on him, and all of a sudden, the doctor quickly told them that Ebuka will be needing blood as he was short of blood. Nkechi was shocked. How come? Ebuka was very healthy yesterday. Ebuka was very healthy for over how many days? And how come all of a sudden he's sick and will be needing blood? Obiora had donated his blood and it was transfused on Ebuka. After Ebuka became stabilized, Ebuka was discharged from the hospital. With this, Obiora and NKECHI walked towards his dedication. They had planned to take him to church to dedicate him so that NKECHI could gradually return to work. But the moment they got home that day, they noticed that Ebuka started jerking again the moment he was placed on his bed. NKECHI was really confused. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. And in less than 45 minutes of returning from the hospital, they returned back again to the same clinic. At this point, the doctor had to tell them that there was nothing they could do. But Ebuka had to stay in the hospital so that they could properly monitor Ebuka. NKECHI practically turned the hospital to her home, as any day they discharge Ebuka and she returns back to her home, Ebuka will fall sick and they will have to return back to the hospital. This was their lifestyle for a total of 6 good months. At that point, Ebuka was 9. It was from hospital to the house and from the house to the hospital. NKECHI had no life. She could not return back to the market to start selling the things she was selling. Obiora had taken so much loan from his place of work and could not even pay back. Obiora was confused. NKECHI was confused. They said their own little prayer with little faith, as they didn't even know if the prayer was being answered or not. One fateful evening, while NKECHI was sitting down in the hospital, thinking about her life, remembering the words her mom had told her before she left, not everybody that walks into your house has a good intention for your child. Be very, very careful. The moment those words came back to her head, she quickly picked up her phone and decided to call her mom. And the moment her mom picked up, she told her mom everything that was going on in the home. How her baby had been sick for 6 good months. They've not even been able to dedicate him, and everything was not moving well in their home. The moment Madam Nneka heard that, she jumped up from her bed and was panicking. And she told her daughter, I will be there first thing tomorrow morning. The next morning, Madam Nneka went straight to her daughter's house even before getting to the hospital. Obiora had just returned from the hospital to get some clothes for them. When Obiora saw her, Obiora gladly welcomed his mother-in-law and even allowed her enter the house. But the moment she entered the house, she felt a strange spirit. It was strong. And she told her son, we need to pray. Something had happened in this home. Someone had given you all the wrong gift. And NKECHI, my daughter, had even allowed that person to carry the baby. Obiora was a bit confused and said he had said all his prayer and nothing had happened. But Madam Nneka was hell-bent on praying. She knew that something was fishy. The moment Madam Nneka began to pray, seriously kabashing, moving from every part of the house, from each door to the other door, from one room to the other, from the living room to the kitchen, Madam Nneka kept on praying seriously. She prayed fervently. At some point, Obiora told himself that he could not wait, that he needed to return back to the hospital. But he noticed that his mother-in-law did not stop praying. She kept on praying and pleading and crying for the mercies of God over her daughter's home. As she was praying, as she walked into Ebuka's room, she saw a little toy and she carried the toy and broke it immediately. The moment the toy fell on the floor, a white substance poured out of the toy. Obiora was shocked and surprised, and he didn't even believe what he had just seen. And she turned and told Obiora, have you seen that there is a strange gift? Someone have gifted you people wrongly. And I believe that that's what is affecting your son. Unknown to them, that the moment the toy fell on the floor, Ebuka got himself. NKECHI was trying to call her husband to tell her husband that Ebuka was fine. When they were done praying and anointing everywhere in the home, Obiora and his mother-in-law went to the hospital to see Ebuka. On getting to the hospital, NKECHI had told them that Ebuka was completely fine. That in less than how many time, Ebuka was able to breathe on his own. That he even used his hand to bring out the oxygen from his nose. That he's able to breathe on his own. He's even able to cry. Obiora was really, really glad. And at that moment, her mother told her what she had found in her home. Her husband also nodded in agreement how they had seen the toy someone had gifted their son. And that moment, Nkechi asked, hope you didn't throw the toy because I know each item I collected from everybody. But when they got home, after Ebuka was being discharged, she found out that the toy that was tormenting her son was the toy one of the market women had gifted to her. And at that point, she really understood the words of her mother. Not just that she received anyhow gift, she didn't commit the gift, and she also allowed them to touch her son without even looking deep into their life. Even though Ebuka was 10 months at that point, Ebuka was dedicated to the altar of God, where he was seriously prayed for. And after that, Nkechi and her husband learned that in life, not everyone that comes to your home is happy for you. Not just that Nkechi limited the way she allowed people to come to her home, she totally changed her business line. She stopped going to that particular market and she started selling material there in her street. She was very, very careful with people she associated with. She made sure she prayed fervently. The moment anybody gives anything to her, she makes sure she prays for it. And even when Ebuka started going to school, Nkechi made sure to anoint his head every day, committing his hands, his life, and everything about him to the will of God. And she taught Ebuka never to accept anything, not just from strangers, but even people you know. She always told him, before you take anything, make sure you plead the blood of Jesus Christ. And even if the person makes you take it by force because you're a child, make sure you show it to I am your father. Never ever take anything from anyone, to which Ebuka obliged to. And as the years went by, not just that Nkechi gave birth to Ebuka, Nkechi gradually welcomed her second child, Ogochukwu, a beautiful daughter who came to her and brought about increase in their home. As after the birth of Ogochukwu, Obiora got an increase in his place of job, and not just that he got an increase, he was able to pay up all his loan, all the financial debt he ever had, and the family was living and deep-rooted in Christ. They made sure never to forsake Christ for one day. Thank you very much for listening to the story of the day. If you enjoyed the story, please do not forget to support us by subscribing, sharing our stories to your loved ones. And before I leave you, I would like to drop one or two. There is a saying that what the elders see sitting down, even if you climb the highest mountain, you might not be able to see it. That is the case of Nkechi. Her mother warned her seriously to be careful of the gifts and the people she gave her child to. But Nkechi felt that her mother was old-fashioned. But now, didn't she later understand the reason why her mother told her? We should always know that even the Bible once said that not everybody who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Not everyone who calls God is even a Christian. Some people are pretenders. Some people pretend a lot. We should always try to pray for our home. Guide our home jealously. Thank you very much. We still remain your favorite storyteller, Sika. Please do not forget to support us by subscribing, liking, sharing our stories to your loved one. Until we'll meet again in our next story. Bye for now.